How's it going, guys? Welcome to Audio Addiction. We have Fauxtrot with us today. You can say their names and what they do in the band.
My name is Robert. I sing in Fauxtrot.
My name is Austin, and I play guitar in Fauxtrot.
There we go. Well, we're doing this at like 10 a.m. and your boy rolled out of bed. So if my voice sounds a little funky, it's because I just woke up. So shout outs. But I had a chance to listen to Lost in Translation in full. So if you want to check the link in the description, I did the full thing live. So go watch it if you feel the need to. But I really enjoyed it. Since I've known Rob for a little bit, and I found out that Rob watched my stuff before I even like that whole story we'll talk about in a second. But I was like, I feel the need to do this even if I like have to break out time in my schedule to do it. I was like, I have to find time to do it. And I was impressed. I think I'm excited to see what comes next. There's definitely like some things as like a newer band starting out that I'm like, I think they can. I know that they have a lot more potential in them to do like a little bit more, and I feel like this is just the appetizer. If we're talking about in like terms of a meal analogy. But I'm excited to see what is coming next. In terms of the group starting out, I think from what I saw on Spotify, you started out in like 2019, 2020, roughly. So
Yep.
how did kind of the group start out, and how did you guys basically form Foxtrot?
So pretty much like 2019, I was searching for members for a band for a long time, and
Mm.
I had met someone online, and they were like, "Who's trying to start like a progressive rock, like Swancore type band?" And I was like, "I do." And then I didn't know where they were from, so I was like, "They could be from anywhere." And
Yeah.
they lived in Jersey, so I was like, "Oh, where do you live in Jersey?" And then we kind of got together, and this person didn't live very far, so we were kind of writing virtually for a while, and we wrote some stuff, and then we sort of that's how we kind of started the idea, the inception of the band. And then I met Austin probably
I think it was like 2 years later.
yeah, like two
Oh,
years
wow.
later. He actually joined the band on bass live, but then like writing guitar and stuff. But because we were only a four-piece at the time, and we didn't have a fifth person in the band to do the lead guitar stuff or whatever. But yeah, then I met Austin. We also met online. Uh, so I met the other person in the band who I started the band with on like I think it was a Facebook group or
Okay.
something, like like Swan posting or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
And then I met Austin through Band Mix.
Yeah, band.
So if you guys know what Band
Okay.
Mix
No.
is, it's just like basically farmers
Craigslist.
meet for
Yeah.
for musicians. Yeah,
Yeah.
Tinder for musicians.
Yeah, hell yeah.
But a lot of rolling the dice with like, hey, I don't know you, but I like your stuff. Do you want to collaborate? Kind of thing. And then Jared, who's not here, he's another member of this band. He plays bass in our band. It's actually Austin's cousin. So
Oh, shout
he,
outs.
yeah, shout out to Jared. Love you, Jared. um, they're related, but he took photos of us at our show in Jersey when we played with Andres, and
Hey.
I met him for the first time there, and I thought he was cool, and we kind of talked, and then eventually he came around to joining the band. So that's kind of the current lineup, the three of us.
Very cool. Yeah. Shout outs to Andreas, the boy. I've known him probably since he started doing music, so I feel very like attached to him as a person. I know he's playing
Hell yeah.
Philly tomorrow, so I can't go unfortunately, but would love to see my guy come back on the show. Would love to have you.
Hell yeah.
But I had met Rob at a With Sales Ahead show last year, and it was weird. I was shout outs to Santino, their guitar player, and I was like sitting down, and I feel like a tap on my shoulder, and I like turn around, and Rob's looking at me, and he's like, "Are you Brandon from Audio Addiction?" And I was like, "I am," and he was like, "Oh my god!" And then we had like a wholesome conversation and stuff. And that was, like, one of the few times that I've ever gotten, like, noticed out in public where people, like, know, like, exactly who I am.
Hell yeah.
And, so I was like, "This is sick. I like this." But I also feel like I had, like, a bad interaction with people, like, that I've met in person. Like, somebody thought I was gonna be, like, an asshole to them, like, in person. I'm
Mhm.
like, no. Why would I? Why would I have any reason to be that way other than if you
Yeah.
were trying to provoke me?
Right.
So we had a great conversation. And I tried to give him some advice on his group a little bit and see what my thoughts were, and it was really cool. And then he was like, "Hey, so we have a new EP dropping. Do you mind checking it out?" And I was like, "Bet, I got you." So I had to do it. But I would say my favorites were actually the latter half of the EP. So Follow You and Cheers to the Years were actually my two
Interesting.
favorite. Follow You I thought was probably the best iteration of what you did on the EP, which is surprising to me because I felt like I would enjoy like the more like swancore, like vibey, funky sort of stuff that you guys were doing. And I was like, Follow You, I was like, this is really good. It was unexpected because I was like, you have 4 songs on an EP, and I was like, I wasn't expecting like an acoustic, like softer sort of song. So I was very surprised at like the inclusion of that song, but I'm glad it showed up because it's definitely in terms of, I would say for you, Rob, your best vocal performance on the album.
Oh yeah.
But I had to give a shout outs to Austin on the guitar work for Cheers to the Years because that last riff at the end, Chef's Kiss, I love that shit. That was so good. So
Appreciate it.
so I would say those two to me at least were the ones that stuck out. In terms of people that haven't heard of Foxtrot and maybe are checking this out, what songs would you recommend to a new listener to give a first listen to?
That's a good question.
He said, which Fauxtrot song?
What do you recommend for someone as like a first listen to introduction to our band?
Oh yeah, no, that is, I guess, sort of difficult. I don't know. It really depends on the person, I guess.
Sure.
So I'll give my take and Austin give his take. So I think honestly the best representation of the band overall, I think Retrace is good because I think that song encapsulates everything that we do. So like there's a soft section, there's like weird change ups, there's
Yeah.
like funky, like it has all the vibes that we kind of encompass our sound. We do more than that, but like that's a good like uh palette like taster of like, oh, okay, they're doing
Mhm.
a little bit of this, a little bit of this. That's just my opinion. It's a weird song, so structurally I thought that people wouldn't like it because it is weird and it's like, how do I follow this? But like I've gotten feedback from people saying like, hey, I really like that this song is weird. From people who don't even like this genre of music.
Yeah.
So that's been cool. That's just my opinion now.
Honestly, I kind of agree with that. I think it's a good opener for the EP too.
Mhm.
I think I would recommend Retrace, and then I guess especially with how the EP flows, everything I think flows well with each other. Like you got Retrace, which is your crazy, chaoticness of a song. Then Too Close kind of tones things down, and then you get to the acoustic, and then things kind of pick back up from where we first started off. So I think Retrace, and then on top of that, there's a music video for it. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
true.
that makes it a lot easier to listen to because you can watch it and listen to it.
Yeah.
So I think I'll probably give it to Retrace for now, unless we decide to upload anything else for anything for the other songs. But I would say Retrace is a fine start for people. So
Yeah, I would care to agree with that. I think for me, like just listening to the EP from front to back, I think is a thing that you should do if you like the first song. I think you should just cut through the whole thing. It's like 17 minutes, so I feel like people have 17 minutes to listen to an EP. I mean, I don't know. That's just me.
Short and sweet.
It's short and sweet, and so I think I enjoyed it a lot, and I like I said, follow you really kind of surprised me in terms of that. I think that I said it in the review. I think Rob has more in the tank vocally. That I'm like, this man is holding back because I heard follow you and I was like, he's got it. And that was kind of my gripe about Retrace was like,
Mm.
I was like, I think he can push a little more. I think he's got it in him. And then listening to follow you, I was like, he's got it. I just think maybe there's a lack of confidence a little bit in the vocal stretches that I'm like, he can do it. I know he's got it. And like, I kind of, I kind of aligned you similarly to I could hear a little bit of like older Kurt Travis. I could hear some like older like Johnny Craig kind of like
Mm.
vocal styling, especially more in like the like mid to like lower range of your vocals. I was like I was like he's giving a lot of like warmth, but not like the grit that I would expect Johnny Craig to do, but like
Mhm.
kind of that sort of warm factor that I really enjoy. Um, and I was like, I would love to just see him just go ham. Like that was kind of like my initial thought was just like I was grooving and I was feeling it. I was like, there's more. There's got to be more. Like he must have been nervous or like he must have been holding back. So I think for me, it's like I can see the writing on the wall, and I think that's what excites me the most about what's going to be coming out. Because I imagine this stuff is like, from what I saw, I think that you posted, Rob, about this stuff being like older material per se. I feel like this is just the basis point. I was like, and that was kind of like what I kept in mind, like going through the EP was like, this stuff could be like, and I've had bands on that have had like material that has been written in like 2016 or whatever, and they're just like, we're
Mhm.
finally putting it out. Hey, here it is. You know, like I think for me, it's like that's important for that. In terms of like again adding members in and kind of again starting the project up and kind of getting it moving and obviously releasing Lost in Translation. I was curious as to why maybe these parts or things weren't re-recorded or like kind of edited a little bit more in terms of who's in the band now currently. Was that kind of a conscious decision just to write it as is, or I'm just curious on that process for that.
Yeah, so the process for this out EP is very interesting. So the demos from 2019, 2020
Mm,
were like the first iterations of these songs, and they are like demos. They're rough, like
yeah.
they're to get the ideas out,
Yeah.
like have them for people to listen to, not the public, but like,
Yeah.
hey, this is what we're trying to do, like amongst ourselves, just to get an idea. So that's where it started, and then I guess like as time went on with like adding people and people leaving, like these songs have been through so many. I mean, Austin could tell you the song "Too Close"
Yeah.
had like 5 versions of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Too Close had a lot of like different versions of it, and it was basically a lot of the beginning half of it, trying to get the intro right
Mhm.
and getting it up to the second chorus, because interesting thing, Rob's vocal teacher had told him that the first time she heard Too Close, she was like, I really don't think you should sing this song. Yeah. So like the very first iteration of it, she
Oh
told
my
she told
god.
him she's like, I really don't think you should sing this song, or you start from the chorus, from the second verse and on. So the issue of the song was the stuff before it. So I was like, okay. Um, so we kept working on it to try and fix it, and then eventually we got to the point where she heard it and she's like, "This sounds way better than the very first iteration."
Wow.
So
Okay.
we kept rewriting it so we got it right, and we made sure that we liked it enough to the point where he also sounded
Well,
good
this
on it
is
too.
this is important to know, and I want to say this because it's very important. So there was a point in time with our band and certain members in our band that didn't want to change parts.
Oh,
So
okay.
he was open to it. I was open to it. Other people in the band weren't, and so on and so forth. And like when you're up against the point where it's like this doesn't work, and let's try other things to see like if we can just try something else. That's the vibe in the band. So like it's not that anyone's idea sucks. It's just that let's try other people's ideas to see how it goes. Even if
Sure.
I think it's stupid, I'm down to try it just to be like, hey, we tried
We
it.
tried it,
It
yeah.
sucks. And I've eaten my own words being like, I
No,
thought that
this
was
was
really
good.
stupid.
Yeah.
And this is sick. Like, I'm so glad that's why we try things. So like there was a point in time where the the song wouldn't change structurally or certain things wouldn't change, and I was stuck with this like riff that I didn't know what to do with, and then I'd take it to like my voice teacher and be like, what am I doing wrong here? It just doesn't sound good. And she's like, well, I don't know how you sing over that.
Yeah.
And then my guitar teacher's like, you can sing it like this. And I'm like, that sounds like dog shit. And he's like, well, and I'm like, so what? So the riff's the problem. Like, I was trying to figure out if it was me,
what the
like,
problem is, yeah.
or like how to problem solve, right? And
Yeah.
you know, that's a big thing in this band where it's like, I really want to have a space where we're open-minded and like we can flesh out ideas and we can do different things, even if, like I said, if I think it's dumb or he thinks it's dumb, let's try it. So that was a big proponent with writing the songs that kind of held us back. And also, not many people know this either, recording the music, we didn't have a person to go to, and that was really hard to find.
Oh,
So
okay.
for those of people who don't know, the person who recorded our EP is Eric Navarro from So Much So Buried. He's the drummer in So Much So Buried.
Yeah, I love Eric.
He recorded our EP. He's a homie. He's awesome. But prior to meeting him, we kind of didn't know where to go, and we're not, super like rich and famous to go to like Chris Crummett or whatever. Even though that'd be great. It was really hard to find the right person that understood the genre and understood what we were trying to do, and we wanted someone who was hands-on, but also hands-on, like kind of balance of like, hey, here's my input, but like, what's your input? Like, it was a collaboration, and working with him, it was so great like that. And prior to that, it was just hard to have songs that we weren't proud of because they weren't clicking musically, and then recording it with people that we didn't feel like would understand. So that was a lot of the time that we were like, well, we're waiting. It felt like we were waiting, but really we were just looking for the right people in the band and the right person to record. So that's really what took so long. But everything you hear is everyone in this band, like Austin, me, Jared, like their parts. So there have been like rewriting and stuff like that, but everything you hear is us.
And who did Eric do the drumming on the EP or no?
No, so actually so we didn't have a drummer back then. So we had just actually lost our drummer recently before recording, and I had a friend of mine named Nick Marinelli. He lives in Jersey. Shout out to Nick. He recorded drums for us. Actually, I met him because that Andre show, he was supposed to fill in because our drummer couldn't do it. So we had to fill in 48 hours before the show?
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That was nerve-wracking because we never practiced with him.
Never.
So
man.
So the last guitar player that was in this band before he left found a drummer real quick and practiced with him overnight. So
like 8 hours.
Me and him have no idea how this is about to go. So we're about to play the show.
This is our biggest show at this point.
And we have no idea how this is about to go. And funny enough, it actually went pretty well that night.
Homie was on stage. Ready? Homie's on the drummer. He's on stage with the sheet music. He
was shifting through. Oh my God. That's awesome. Oh my God. That's tight. Yeah. Shout out to Nick.
Yeah, it was insane.
Yeah, so it was cool. But Nick recorded the drums with us, and he did a great job. But he wasn't at that show. It was a different person. But I met him through reaching out to be like, hey, I want to fill in. And he was like, I could do it, but I think it's too short notice. And I was like, fuck. But then someone else did it. But then he recorded drums because I was like, I think he could do this. Let me just reach out to him. And he did what he did, obviously.
Yeah. Shout out to Nick.
The crazy thing about Nick was that Rob has said him like how the songs were supposed to sound. And Nick came through and he's like, I kind of didn't really listen to the songs, but I guess I'll come in here, figure it out.
He listened to one of them in the shower the day before.
And it is crazy because how he laid out the drums for the whole EP. I was like, this man didn't even really listen to it, and he just came here and just shredded his ass off.
Yeah, like we were all sweating bullets, and he called me the night before, like, hey man, like, I'm not sure about these songs. Like, I'm like, dude, what do you mean we're recording tomorrow?
Like, we have to do it. We need to do it. We need you. Yeah. Oh my God.
So we were sweating, but like I made sure to like literally be next to him, being like, this was cool. Like, just kind of collaborating with him, an idea, to like get a feel. But he took what we were doing and like knocked it out of the park. and like he brought such cool, just like intricate but
There were some cool
interesting, like,
pockets. Yeah.
yeah, like there's a Latin groove on
Yeah.
Retrace, and I'm like, that's so interesting. And
Yeah.
like one thing that I was very vocal about that I expressed to the guys was that I kind of didn't want a metal drummer in the band. Like we're
That's
not
fair.
really a metal
You're
band,
not.
so
No.
like it would work, but like I want more of like a groovy, like jazzy kind of feel, and
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Yeah.
did that.
He did.
So he's not in the band, but for
Shout
the
outs.
EP, he brought it. So
Shout out, yeah, shout outs to Nick. I only asked if Eric did it because I know Eric very well. So shout outs to Eric. I've had so much hope, and I've also had his other project Toothless on, so I'm
oh yeah.
very familiar with what he does. So I thought for sure he was doing some drumming. So shout out to Eric. But speaking about drummer, I also know the drummer in your music video, Rob. I mean, not Rob. It's fuck. I forget. It's the
Richie.
Richie. Yeah, it's another R name. Yeah. So I know Richie. I interviewed him probably like probably 5 years ago or something like that. And
Wow.
he DM'd me and he was like, "Hey, thanks for checking out the Fauxtrot song." And I was like, "What the fuck?" I'm like, why is he messaging me about this? So I'm like, why are you? So I text him back and I said, "Why are you messaging me about this Foxtrot song?" And he's like, "Oh, I drummed for them in the music video." I was like, "Shut the fuck up!" I'm like, "There's no way." And he's like, "Yeah." He's like, "I did."
Mhm.
And then he's like, "I'm opening for them for their release show." And I was like, "Son of a bitch!" I'm like, how does this keep happening? But it was really sick. Shout out to Seconds to Safety. They're a Pittsburgh band that he was a part. Well, I met him through them and stuff, but obviously they're not doing anything anymore. But I know Richie's still doing stuff. So big salutes to Richie. I just wanted to give him a shout because I am sure he's gonna watch this and be like, I wonder if Brandon talked about me. So
Well, honestly, shout out to
gotcha.
Richie too, because Richie is a big reason why we were able to continue on as a band, because he we didn't have a drummer, and he was kind of helping us write and like
Oh,
play shows and stuff. So Richie sort of helped kept the band going after we kind of recorded the songs and stuff, because we didn't have a drummer because Nick's not our drummer.
yeah.
So we were kind of just had these songs, but like, how do we play them? And then Richie came in and he learned them, and he's really talented. He throws a little spice on stuff,
Yeah.
and he's really talented, and we love the dude. He's gonna play with us next Saturday at our EP release show. His band's The Lionhearted. For anyone who's never heard of them, but yeah, Richie's the homie. We love him. He's awesome, and he's a big reason why we're still here today. So
Shout out to Richie. Love that guy. I know he's gonna watch this, so come back on, Richie. The next thing I have for you guys is what was kind of the first musician that you either saw on like YouTube or on TV or maybe heard on the radio that inspired you to become a musician? Because I think oftentimes we talk about like influences and stuff, but I'm always curious who kind of gives you that bug, that initial bug.
Uh, does my friend in Guitar Hero 3 count or no?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Come on.
Yeah, because I did like I listened to like when I first started, I guess, getting into more of the heavier stuff. I started off with like Linkin Park and Breaking Benjamin,
Ooh.
and while I did listen to those bands, there was never this, I guess, inspiration of like, yeah, I need to pick up a guitar and play it. I always just enjoyed the music. I never had like a thought of like picking up the guitar and playing it because of listening to heavy music.
Mm.
Um, but what happened was when I was in middle school, and this one kid came up to us and he's like, "Yeah, you guys ever play Guitar Hero 3?" Me and my friend were like, "Nah, we never thought about ever playing it." And he's like, "Dude, you gotta try it out. It's really fun." So it was something completely different for me, especially at the age I was. I forget how old I was. I think it might have been like 12 at the time.
Nice,
And I
yeah.
was like, yeah, like I was like, I never, I'm just used to playing, with a controller and shit. So I was like, I tried it out one time. I was like, yeah, no, this is kind of fun. So um, eventually, my friend Nick got it, and then I got it, and we pretty much played we started off from easy, and then we kind of worked our way up, and then we kind of got addicted to the game. And eventually, in school, there was a paper that was like guitar lessons every Wednesday, about $13. So like, and he's like, dude, I actually kind of really want to learn how to play guitar. I was like, really? He's like, yeah. I was like, huh. So even with that paper in front of me, I wasn't sure if I really wanted to play it or not. But I just said, yeah, fuck it. All I do is play games. I guess I could get another hobby and try something else. And, as I'm learning guitar with him, I actually started to enjoy it. And then eventually just kind of built from there. And, now we're here.
Yeah.
So
shout out to Guitar Hero. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah. Rob, what about you?
That's a good question. That's weird. So growing up, like my my mom's not a good singer, but she's the type of mom that doesn't care, and she'll belt her ass off in the car all the time, no matter what.
Oh,
Celine Dion, Janet
yeah.
Jackson, like Mariah Carey, just all the stuff. And like I feel like my mom inspired me in a way, because that blind, just like, I don't care what anybody thinks, like I'm just gonna do this.
That's fair.
And
yeah.
my sister actually got voice lessons growing up, and she's actually a really good singer, and I was always jealous of her, and I was like, man, why did she get voice lessons? Like, I want to be good like her. So like I feel like if we're talking like initial influences, like I feel like my sister and my mom, but in terms of like music and stuff, like I really started connecting with music like 7th grade. I feel like like I just started getting into like the 3 bands that I like swear by are like Scary Kids, Scaring Kids, Seosin, and Dance Gavin Dance. So like those 3 bands like really changed my life. And it was funny because I actually didn't like screaming in music at all. And when I heard Scary Kids, I was like, something about this is like, I don't know. I think I can tolerate this. And then obviously Dance Gavin Dance, I was like, well, it's like R&B vocals and like heavy music, but it's like weird. So like a lot of this like really intrigued me. And then my first concert ever, I saw it was Drugs, Borgore, We Came as Romans, Hollywood Undead, and then one more. Asking Alexandria. It was 2011.
Oh my
God.
God.
First concert ever. I've been wanting to go to shows forever, but my mom like didn't really like the music I liked, so she wouldn't let me go.
Sure.
And I finally got a car, and I was like, I'm gonna go. So I guess like seeing it in real life too changed me, where I was like, oh, this is really cool. But my issue was I never knew how to go about it, but I always wanted to.
Sure. Yeah.
So
I feel that. That's kind of how I started doing YouTube. Was like, I was like, I don't know what anyone in the industry, so I'm like, I'm just gonna start interviewing bands, like small bands, and now I'm doing it for like what will be 8 years in February. So I feel like I feel like I've gone through that. Thank you. I feel like I've gone through it, and like I love Austin's answer because I am a Guitar Hero fan. If you want to check out, not to plug my own merch, but if you want to go check that out, maybe you might see something you like. I'm not gonna say anything else, because I'm not trying to get flagged by Activision. So, but that's about it. That's all I'm gonna say, but it's a parody, guys, so, but I really kind of enjoyed. I kind of similarly to Rob, like I kind of got started out in like more of the like metalcore sort of stuff. So I like listened to like August Burns Red, like Under Oath, those types of artists, and that's kind of how I started in the scene. And then obviously all of those bands were like religious, so I kind of moved from that to like other heavier bands that like weren't religious. And now I'm like, now I'm not. So that's how it happens, But I think to me, it was like it was just to me, like it was a community that I felt a part of immediately. It was like something about it that just like initially, like I was just like, I'm here. This is what I want to do. Like, these are the people I want to be with. And like, this is the type of people I love seeing at shows. So I'm glad that both of you decided to take the dive and obviously be a part of this. And, you guys can check out their new EP, Lost in Translation, because it's really great and you should give it some love. I'll leave a link. Links in the
One
description.
one thing about too that kind of what you're saying is like one thing that I really enjoyed about feeling like a part of a community or like just enjoying music was that I've always like kind of wrote like I guess poetry, I guess you could say, like when I was younger, but I let go of it years ago. And then when I started doing music, I got back into it. And it's something that I don't really do on my spare time unless it's music related, but it's so cathartic to like tell stories and talk about my life and things that I've experienced or that I've seen in that format of like music. So it's very like a cathartic experience for me. So it's like it's transcended just like, oh, I like music, but now I'm like in it where I'm like, no, these are like stories that I've
Yeah.
experienced or stuff that I've seen and I want to tell people about it.
It's a shared experience. Yeah, I feel that. I feel like Rob and I might have been cut from the same cloth because I also used to write poetry in my
Oh yeah.
like high school years and I stopped doing it. But every once in a while, I'll pull out my like Google Docs and I have a bunch of shit that I've just
There you
written
go.
over the years that probably will never see the light of day. But it's a nice like thing to kind of just like have fun and be able to kind of like work your creative part of your brain that I feel like we don't use as much.
Yeah,
So
just
it's
to
great.
just to do it. Just to
Yeah.
do it, honestly. Even if people hear it, read it or not, just to have that outlet to be like, I'm just gonna say this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's fun. Maybe one day I'll actually post them and show everybody. But yeah, I love that. In terms of new artists or bands that you're listening to more currently, guys, what's on the Spotify? What have you guys been listening to lately?
Oh boy.
You know, off top.
For me, I usually so I think the start of this year, uh, I just started like putting bands that I never heard of inside of a playlist.
Ooh, okay.
Uh, so like I started doing that just to get myself involved and kind of what's been going on around me. Like I never listened to Currents. I had a couple songs for Currents in the playlist. Um, I think there's a band called uh, some like Time Valuator. I forget how
Oh,
it's pronounced.
Time the
time to
evaluator.
evaluate.
Just
Yeah,
never heard of them.
they're great.
A lot of great songs in there. Um, who else was just kind of like circulating through my playlist that I made? I'm trying to think off the top of my head, and
It's
it's
all
You're
good.
getting
doing pretty good, man.
You're doing pretty good. Yeah, I was gonna say.
because it was a lot. I don't know if you know this group, the Darko US
Yep.
or Darko
Oh
Us.
yeah, they're
Yeah,
great.
that had them running in the playlist. I started listening to a lot more of Dayseeker's album. I actually
Ooh.
really liked it a lot. I wasn't expecting to, but I was like this combination of like this, I guess, 80s wave or whatever, mixed with like these H string guitars. It's like it fucking works. I don't know how, but it
It
works.
hits. It
Uh,
hits. Yeah.
they had a song. I fucking forget what it's called. There's a music video for it, but people in the comment section was like, "Man, I love prom core. I love it." I was like, "Is this what this is?"
Prom core.
I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Hey, well, I remember when Flojo came out with Issues, people were calling it. What the hell do they call it? They're almost calling it Will Smith core because the way the beginning started out.
I never had that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
no,
no.
they were calling it because the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. I guess I don't know something. I guess about that
Interesting.
about how that
That's
song started out. People were like, "Dude, Fresh Prince of Bel Air." Yeah,
oh
I was
no,
like,
no, no. I was like, this is like hip hop core or like something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know if I would have called it Fresh Prince core, but hey, whatever.
uh,
Tomato, tomato.
yeah, no, it's just people in the comment section being weird, but it
I
was
love
still
it.
funny. There's another death metal group called Inferi. Did I
Yes.
pronounce that right?
Oh man, yeah, they're sick. Yeah.
Yeah, I started
Very, yeah.
listening to that. Like I had them in the playlist too, so I had like a combination of a lot of bands in there.
Got a lot of heavy
Um,
shit. That's crazy.
yeah, it was a lot of heavy stuff and then a lot of like soft stuff. It was a very in between. Um, but yeah, no, that's what I did this year. And that's why it's so hard for me to keep track of like what I was listening to because I just put them in a playlist. And some bands I already knew.
Uh-huh.
Like I Met a Yeti. I just had some of their newer stuff in there, but I put that in
Great
there.
band. Yep. Shout outs.
Same thing with Coletta. Had them in
Yes.
there too.
Coletta's great too.
Um, Damn, I'm really trying hard not to pull up my phone to
No, you're
remember
good.
some.
Nah, you're
That's
good.
really
You're
good.
crushing it. This is
Jesus, how am I gonna? I
this is
just
like a Michael
Jesus, how am I gonna
Jordan.
top that?
This is some Michael Jordan energy. He's just like, all right, I'm
He
going for
just-
I'm going for the
he
goat
just
here.
dunked on me.
Yeah, he just dunked on you. Yeah. All right, Rob. Let's see what you can do
Jesus.
now.
Well, if I'm being honest, I've been in the lull musically recently. Like, I feel like I haven't heard a lot that I've been loving. I feel like I've heard a lot that I haven't liked, and that's really been killing my vibe musically. Like two albums that I swear by, and I had to really think about this the other day. So I'm very big into like being a fan of a band and like reaching out to them and like saying like, yo, your music's awesome. And then like sometimes I become friends with these people. So a good example of that is Properties of Nature. I was like a big fan of them. They first came, or like even when they were teasing shit, I was like, who are you guys? This is sick. What the fuck? And then I became friends with them, and they were like, yo, you have been with us for like 4.5 years, and like now you're putting out your music that you were talking about. Like, this is so crazy. So like Properties of Nature, they put out an EP with Aloysius called Odd Figures.
Yep.
That EP is fucking awesome. Shout out to all those homies. And then also Termina put out a new album this year.
Oh yeah.
I was fucking like so they scratch an itch that Ocean's 8 Alaska scratches for me, where it's like I'm not big into deathcore, but if deathcore is Ocean's 8 Alaska, I'm in. Like they just the curveballs in the record is just so insane, and like it's heavy, but it's really catchy and it's very interesting. So those two records, I love them to this day. And shout out to Origami Button. They put out a new song this year, but like they've been in my rotation for a while, and they're really cool dudes, and they're the homies too. So yeah, that's and I've been in the lull. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. But you guys don't want to hear what those are. It's just not music related.
You can talk about them. I don't care. Just shoot. What do you got? What do you listen to podcasting wise?
I've been listening to a lot of This Is Important with the Workaholics guys. If you guys have ever heard of that
nice.
one.
Okay, yeah.
That one's really funny. And there's another one called Chris D'Elia has a podcast called Congratulations, which is really funny.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
So
I think my stuff's on podcasting sites. I don't know. So if you want to check out my shit, you can do that too. But I feel like Rob, I think you enjoy mathcore.
Yeah, maybe.
I think truly that's what it is. So you should listen to
what's considered mathcore.
Like Ocean's 8 Alaska's mathcore, Callous Cowboys is mathcore. Or I mean, again, these are like Dillinger Escape Plan is like an OG like an OG mathcore band.
Dillinger.
Like
gotcha.
A little bit of Misery Signals is like mathcore, like that sort of stuff. I don't know. I'm not the genre police here, so don't come after me. But I feel like that is about as good a representation of that. So
well, it's funny that you mentioned Misery Signals because I know that Misery Signals inspired Era to be a band.
Yes, they did.
So I need to dive into that because I know that and I just haven't listened.
I can confirm. I had talked to Alan, which was one of their former guitar players from Era, and him and his wife have a project now that they've been doing for many years. And he's like Misery Signals. So I know for a fact, like first like two records of Era, like very like Misery Signals inspired. So I feel
that's sick to know.
You got to do it. Augment is my favorite Era record of all time, but I know a lot of people have varying opinions.
Too, right?
Yeah, no, I really like the first two albums. Not to say there's anything wrong with the newer stuff that they're putting up, but something about the first two, like I can come back and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, guys. I really like what you guys did here.
It feels very like not, I don't want to say anthemic, but like it feels like a movie.
It does. Like, for sure.
The riffs and stuff are like so theatrical and not like in a like high production, like they just feel so like
it's got a flow to it.
Experiential where I feel like I'm immersed in this world and I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I agree. I also got to give a shout outs to Brian Hood, who is the guy who did the like production work for that album. I think he was personally, I feel like he was before his time because that album I had gone back and listened to like
Oh,
very recently, and I still think it holds up. It's like a gem. I still think that is such a gem of a record. So I love it.
yeah, it blows my mind, especially the first album that I ever put out because it's 2011,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
like, this shit sounds like it came out years before 2011. Like
Yeah.
I
Oh
don't
yeah.
like it fucks me up every fucking time. I'm like, this came out
Impulse.
yeah, it came out in 2011. Like the fact that that album is 10 years old already blows my fucking mind.
But there's an album before that or an EP or something. It's like only on YouTube. I heard.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
listened to it,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but
That was like that was very early, like era stuff. I don't think it's on Spotify though. No, yeah.
no. Okay.
But shout outs to Impulse, Augment. But I also love current era, so don't get me wrong. Like I love the JT era of music, so I'm just an era
For
stan
sure.
at this point. So but I have a little bit of a bias. Just want to let
Of
everybody know
course.
that. The next question I have for you guys is: if you could pick a song to cover, what would it be?
Song for us to cover.
I really want to do "This Is How We Do It" by who the fuck's that song? It's the R&B song.
Yeah, I'll look it up for you.
Yeah. Montel Williams.
Mountain
Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah, I got you.
That song would be sick. And I like kind of what we were talking about in this conversation a little bit is like you were saying like, oh, a lot of heavy stuff. And like we're so influenced by so many different things. And our band sort of reflects that because we all kind of come from different backgrounds. We have similarities, which I
Mhm.
think that's why it works. But we like to genre blend, I guess,
I'm
a
about
lot.
it.
So
I'm about it.
we like to experiment with that stuff. So kind of different vibes and stuff is kind of what we, if it makes sense in the song. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, and I mentioned it before, but it's probably way above our skill levels. But I would love to cover "Collapse" by Sales.
Oh, true.
Oh, do it, please. I would love to see that shit.
Fun fact:
100%.
this song was in the group chat a couple years ago, and it was recommended by like the person who recommended it would have had the hardest time playing their part because it was the drums are like insane.
Yeah, the
And
drumming
like
is
I know
wild.
the riffs are crazy too, but like I feel like the drums are like
No, the drums, like every time I hear that song, like the drums are just going in the entire fucking
Yeah.
time. Like especially the fills at the very end of the
Oh
fucking
yeah.
song.
Woo.
Yeah, no, the drums are just yeah, no, man, just treading on the drums in that song. But
Yeah.
that song was like, yeah, cool. We could maybe cover this, probably above our skill level. It wouldn't
Yeah.
it wouldn't hurt to try, see if we could pull it off.
I think
Yeah.
I would love to see that. That is one of my favorite albums of all time is the Say
Hell
the
yeah.
Sin self-titled album. I
Yeah,
am so excited I get to see it from front to back when we were young. So that is the album that is the number one album I will go to see when I'm out there. Um,
I'm jealous, Brandon.
I'm sorry, Rob.
I was
Listen,
banking on the U.S. tour, man.
I don't think they will. I think
They
it'll
won
just
in
be the one.
Asia, but not.
I know. I maybe I'll talk to Cove. I'll see what's good.
And with Cove, no disrespect to Anthony, but I want the Cove tour. And if Anthony's there, cool. But I want the Cove songs.
Yeah, I listen. You're talking to a Cove stan, so
Thank you.
You're
my people.
I am your people. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, that album is my favorite album of all time, or at least in my top 10 favorite albums of all time.
Oh yeah.
Such an influential album to me. So I feel like I would love to see your take on it.
my
I
God.
think you guys could crush it. I have
He's
faith.
putting it out there.
Yeah, I have putting it out there.
Sweating now.
I have a lot of I got a lot of good feelings. So I hope it eventually makes it in. But guys, if you have any suggestions for Fauxtrot, let them know down in the comment section below. I can't guarantee they'll do it, but polite suggestion always goes a long way. Unless you ask them to do like, I don't know, an Ocean's 8 Alaska song. Because whoever their drummer is gonna Richie
I'm
is
just
gonna
gonna
have
walk out of that
Richie's
one.
gonna have see you later. We're out of the band. We're done. You know.
But nah, don't
Don't
even
do
get me
that.
started.
Don't do
Don't
that.
get me started
Do
about the
something, yeah.
timing. And
Yeah,
all
something
the-
humans can write.
Yeah, something humans can do. We all know that Ocean's 8 Alaska is comprised of like robots, so it's fine.
Cyborgs for sure.
Cyborgs for sure. So big salute to them. The next question, guys, is another fun one. What is your favorite food to eat?
Oh, man.
Gyros. A good New York gyro. I used to work at this place called Richard's Drive-In in Pennsylvania. It was authentically Greek owned. They had their own meat that they spun on the thing and they shaved it off, and they made their own tzatziki sauce. So what people disrespect or don't understand about gyros is 80% of the good gyro is good tzatziki sauce. And it's homemade and it can't be replicated. And if you have some bullshit, cheap shit, you know.
Exactly. I got you. I'm picking it
A
up.
lamb and beef hybrid gyro.
Woo!
That's me.
Let's go. I love it.
Yeah.
Austin?
Favorite foods is hard for me because I like a lot of foods.
Facts. Facts. Yeah. Spin facts.
For me, man, it's tough because it's stuff between like Asian foods or Spanish foods that I love. So it's like if you can give me rice with some sort of meat on the side and some vegetables, like a nice balanced meal, that's my favorite meal right there. I like everything. Give me my carbs, my protein, and my greens.
Hey, yeah.
There we go.
I
What's
got
that platter?
It's that platter. Yeah, man's getting served a platter. I get it. Yeah, I respect that. That is me to a T. I'm like, give me a good mix of everything. Chef's kiss.
Oh
so
yeah.
I feel you on that. That's a good answer. The next question I have for you guys is if you were to have a dream collaboration on an up and coming Fauxtrot song, who would you love to work with? The question actually gets split up into two answers. The first answer is one that is more feasible if you have a friend that you've been dying to ask to have a feature on and you want to give him a call out, just, just to kind of inch, nudge the conversation a little further. You can do that. And then the second part of that question is the manifestation. We're manifesting it. We're putting it out to the homies, putting it out to the universe. I look over at Rob and he is dying. He is dying inside.
Okay.
I know it's a hard question, to be fair. So that's why I ask it.
Okay. God. I see. I want to say something, but I don't want to say it because
it's
there may be something going on. So I won't say it, but
okay. If you had to pick a new one,
I'll say someone else.
Okay, fair enough.
Jesus. Do you know, Austin? Do you have one? I'm trying to think.
What for like if
it was either like a
no, it's both.
like
it's both.
that's feasible.
It's both. One that is feasible and the dream.
So like a crazy one and like a realistic one.
So I guess for a crazy one, if I ever wanted to I guess in a sense wanted to collab with someone, I'm stuck between between the dudes in Periphery or Chan.
Ooh, okay,
that'd be sick.
Okay.
I'm stuck between those guys because those guys are pretty much and this, I don't know if this might answer your question later on, but those are pretty much who I followed.
Sure.
It's and same thing for Dance Gavin Dance. Who I pretty much inspired me to get better at what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
So those one of those guys would be dream collab just to get an idea of writing and stuff.
Ooh, okay. I'm about that.
Far as feasible, I honestly don't know at the moment.
Ooh.
Maybe like yeah, no, I don't know at the moment, to be honest.
Okay.
And that's not to say that I don't have friends that don't do music in a sense. I just don't know.
I
so,
feel. I feel. I feel.
so I can answer the crazy one. It's the one that's feasible. And I'm like,
I got a dream one.
Okay, what's that one, Rob?
So I think dream wise, I would definitely want to have like Usher on a song.
Ooh, okay, all right,
Yeah.
all right. God bless. You know, hey, shit.
I think Usher would be cool. Yeah, I think Usher would be cool for me. And then like a feasible one. God, it's so hard. I mean, like, sadly, a lot of the people that inspired me in the scene are like terrible people.
Controversial, yeah. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so
I
like,
got you.
I feel like, um, so like, yeah, it's so hard. Like, that's the beautiful thing about making music is like, I don't put so much weight into these people that I can look up to because I make my own music now.
Yeah.
But God, a realistic one. I'm trying to think. I mean, like I would love to do a song with like Properties of Nature or like yeah, I don't know. I'm so bad at thinking of bands on the spot. I think Spotify's ruined my brain of figuring out what bands I
Shoots
like.
out a
Because
band
like
for you.
back in the day, I'd be scrolling through all the letters like there's A, B on my like Zune Marketplace, whatever.
Hey, I know. Yeah, I used to have a Zune, so I got you.
Shout
you.
out
Yeah.
Zune
Hey,
boys.
yo, shout outs. Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. If I was looking at it, I'd have to. But I'm conflicted because there are ones that I know, but I can't say. So like,
yeah, that's why before you mentioned that we were like,
you're like, which ones can we say? Which
well,
ones we
like, well, I
can't
know what
say?
this answer is. I know what this answer is. So
yeah,
I think I may. I think I may know some of them if I can put my finger on it. I think I can guess, but I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus here. So
yeah.
But guys, listen, if you have some of these collabs and you'd like to make them happen, first and foremost, you have to go follow Fauxtrot on Instagram. If you haven't done that yet, you should go do that because, you know, if you live in Pennsylvania, you should be seeing this band live. Then secondly, then you tag all of the bands that were just mentioned. So Properties of Nature, Periphery, Chon. Well, I know shout outs to Chon. They're a little defunct now, but would love to see them again. And then you can type collab ? And then just post it to your story. You know, what happened, you know. I feel like it'll get to them, you know, so go do it up. They don't have anything they're doing. It's okay. You can give them something to do, maybe. But if I had to put my suggestion out there, I feel like since you mentioned it in the interview, I feel like you should do a collab with Andreas.
That'd be cool.
I may or may not have something on that, so I'll have to do something. I have to be like, hey, so come on, man, please, thank you. All right, cool. Don't worry, I got you guys. I got you. I know Andreas would. I know Andreas would do it for your boy here. So I'm an OG, so we'll make it happen. But the next question I have for you guys is, I feel like you know this question is already coming. I'm a huge nerd, so I love asking this. If you guys could be a video game character, who would you be?
Character. Oh boy.
Yoshi from Yoshi's Island.
Oh, okay.
Specifically Yoshi's Island.
Okay, are you carrying the baby? Are you carrying the baby Mario? Okay, fair enough. Respect.
You're avoiding the IRS, dude. All the fucking memes about him not paying taxes.
He is not paying taxes. Man, what a psychopath.
That game is still one of my favorite games of all time, and like that whole world for that time is insane. That was like, I feel like I'm blessed to have experienced that as a child.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I agree.
It's so hard for me because my favorite game is Bloodborne, and you're the main character is pretty much you. So it's like,
Yeah.
so like, yeah, it's my favorite guy, the guy that I created. Like,
I guess it could be if you want it. You know, hey.
So, but I'm really trying to think like of the actual character. Like if I had to be someone from a video game that I think I've enjoyed, you know, every time that I've played it. eh, I think I'll probably go with like Link. I've always enjoyed the Zelda
Ooh.
games.
Fair enough.
So,
What Link though? That's the hard question, I feel.
oh jeez. Yeah, there's a lot of different versions of him. I think I can go with what the current version is rocking now.
The Tears,
Like Breath of
Tears of the Kingdom,
Breath of the Wild, Tears. Yeah, there's definitely been a lot of versions. You know, Ocarina of Time is definitely a classic too. So,
Oh, yeah, for sure, for sure.
I gotta see if I can go back and try to beat Majora's Mask because the first time I played it, I was like 8 years old. I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I was like, yeah, I like this game. I just don't know how to beat it.
Oh my god. And it's so terrifying as a kid because they're like, you have 72 hours to complete this game.
Yeah, right? And I'm
You
like,
know.
what do you mean? I just got this fucking moon, like,
Hey,
you know what you're doing?
Hey, yeah, what's good? What's good?
No,
Yeah.
I don't. Well, if you don't figure it out, you know you just gotta restart.
I'm gonna
all over,
crash
right?
into this earth here. So
Yeah,
I just doing my
Good luck,
job,
homie.
man, all right? Yeah, I'm just doing my job, all right? Don't come after me, you know? I'm just trying to not avoid taxes, you know? I'm trying to, you know, pay, you know, I'm trying to do my due diligence as the moon, you know? I feel like that is the true Zelda timeline, is that the moon is trying to evade taxes, you know? So that's it. You know it. Anyway, you heard it here first, guys. Yeah. The next question I have for you is, if you were to compile a Dream Tour lineup including Foxtrot, who would be on this lineup?
All right. So are we going all active people?
Preferably, yeah.
Okay.
So all active people. So unfortunately, Sean is not on the
Oh, no.
God damn.
So that hurts.
They came to the show though, maybe.
They pulled up, yeah. They came to the show, yeah. They came up on stage for a song, yeah.
But yeah, no, I would go with Periphery, DGD. I'm trying to think of how many bands do we need? At least
Five.
Five total, yeah. So
Five.
four
Shit, I'll have-
others.
Yeah.
Get Periphery headlining or DGD headlining?
Oh, jeez. That'd be kind of crazy. So we got Periphery, DGD. Trying to think what would be a nice combination in there. This is so hard because John's not a thing. Nora's issue is going to be a thing.
Yeah, so I'm talking about just
Damn.
all these bands that are like, you know, help me figure out like, how to write
pass the
something.
torch, dude.
You gotta pass the torch, yeah. Hell yeah.
Oh man. Jeez, I'm trying to think. I got two bands. I don't know if you want to start while I'm trying to figure it out to finish it.
Oh, add to his. So let's throw on Cove Seosin on there
Oh,
for sure. What else we got? Let's throw. I don't even like these days. Let's throw on. Oh, fucking throw Macari on there.
ooh, yeah. Shout outs. I love the
Yeah.
boys of Macari.
They're fucking awesome.
And
And we got one more.
We can always throw Origami Button.
Origami Button on there too.
Oh, there we go. That sounds like a monster
so-
lineup. I'm about it.
Yeah, Periphery will probably be the heaviest sprinkle on that list. So.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
DGD and Periphery played a tour together.
Yeah.
They did that
Yeah.
with Hail the Sun and Covet.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
They also Periphery's on Spawnfest like multiple times.
And Periphery's been on Swanfest, yeah. So
Yeah, no, we got to see him when it came down to Philly.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was really interesting. We also got to see I think they pronounced it was
Sim?
Sim.
Yep.
And Sim was like, "Yeah, this is the only
Yeah.
time we'll be here." I was like, "What?" I was like, "This is cool," and I was like, "Wait a minute, they gotta play Rumbling. If they don't play Rumbling, I'm gonna be pissed off." I was like, "I love Attack on Titan. I would love to hear this shit live right now.
Ayo.
Please tell me you're playing it." And they sure enough, they fucking played it, man.
They're
This
coming
shit was
back.
sick.
I think they're doing a headliner in Philly again.
Oh, sick.
And yeah, so shout outs to Sim. Very cool. Very sick band. That sounds like a great lineup. So if you guys want to buy tickets to this, tour here, you can check the links in the description. It's all there. You just have to like dig for it, but it's there. Trust me. You just have to hit subscribe, follow, all that sort of stuff to like all their social media, and it's like, like when you enter the Konami code in a game, it's like, that's what happens. Unlocks for you.
Yes.
So yeah, so just trying to give you that knowledge. So go do it if you haven't. The next question I have for you guys is favorite TV show, favorite movie.
Oh, my favorite movie of all time is The Curious Case of Benjamin Buttons.
What? No. Okay, I need to. Okay, give me this shit, Rob. I need to know why this is your favorite movie.
So
what the fuck?
This question has plagued my entire existence because I'm like, how the fuck do you pick a favorite movie? Because I like horror movies, I like sci-fi movies, I like rom-coms. Like, what the fuck? So I'm like really thinking. I'm thinking, and I'm like, damn. Like when I was watching Benjamin Buttons, I was like, I low key was like, this movie just hit me. Like the concept of like aging backwards and like the story with him and Kate Blanchett. I was like, I was all in. I was all in. That's it.
No. Fuck no.
But listen. You can't compare it to like fucking. I don't know. Like, what's a
Yeah, I
great
can
movie?
because it's also a movie. So if it's another movie, I can compare it to another movie.
It's hard to compare different genre movies. I feel like that one just takes the cake for me.
I respect
TV show?
I respect your decision for choosing that movie because man, if there is a hill to die on, then you have definitely chosen that hill to die on, and I respect the honor. But Jesus Christ, that is, I don't know, that's a pick. That's all I'm gonna say. So anyway, you can say your TV show.
I get a lot of shit for it. No, it's definitely warranted. And I kind of like that though, because it's like, what's your fucking favorite movie? So yeah, that for sure. And then favorite TV show. Oh God. Oh man, Bates Motel I really liked, and I'm gonna go with Bates Motel.
Oh, okay.
Movies is a hard question for me to answer because I barely watch movies as it is, so it's kind of hard for me to answer that. I'm not sure if it depends what kind of TV show or whatever, but my favorite show for me is Hunter x Hunter.
Oh.
So yeah, that's my favorite show. That show have brought me so many emotions, especially the last parts of it. I was like, damn, I teared up, I'm happy, and I teared up again. So for me, that's my favorite show. As far as movies goes, this one's tricky because I can't recall a movie that I've watched multiple times. Like I've seen it one time, I'm like, yeah, it's a good movie, and I'll probably never watch it again.
Respect that.
I respect
that so much because I watch a lot of movies, but I don't watch a lot of movies more than once.
That's same.
It really depends. Yeah, no, fuck, this one's hard for me. Favorite movie, man, fuck. I really don't know. There's movies out there that I like, but just not enough for me to
put in
really
the top.
say it's my.
What is yours, Brandon?
All right, so I'll give both since Rob called me out and said that I wouldn't be able to name my favorite TV shows and movies. So favorite TV show, For anime, I'm a huge Bocchi the Rock fan, so shout outs. That is a
Never seen
show that you need to watch. If you're a musician and you like anime, then this is a show you need to watch because it
Oh yeah.
is fantastic. And Crunchyroll, if you want to sponsor us, that'd be kind of sick. I'd be down to receive Crunchyroll sponsorship with great honor. So if you want to do that, that'd be sick. Um, in terms of actual TV shows, I'd probably say I love Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I'm just like I love like the cheeky, like funny, like dry humor type stuff. Like similarly, like The Office, like Parks and
Mm.
Rec, Community. I love those shows. So in terms of TV shows, those are probably my favorite. And then movies, that's a
There we
little
go.
bit more difficult. I feel like for me, I am a huge Hot Rod fan. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie,
I've
but
seen Hot Rod.
I
No, I've
love
never
that
seen it.
movie. That's probably my favorite movie. In terms of like
Interesting.
animated movies, I'm just a Ghibli stan, so I love all the Studio Ghibli movies. I just saw
Those
the
are all
new
good.
one. I just saw the new one, and Chef's Kiss. It's a masterpiece. So if you haven't gone to see it, go do it. It's great. I would highly recommend seeing it in theaters because it was like your boy was crying in the club, So that's all I'm telling you.
Well, I guess how do you pick because Hot Rod's a comedy, so how do you pick that over like an action or like something sci-fi or whatever?
I feel like for action movies, like I feel like it's like an experience that you go see in the movie theaters. Like all like when I think of action movies, I think of like any Marvel movie, right? Like
Yeah.
I think I saw Infinity War like 3 times. So like I love that movie. It's a great movie, but
Sure.
but like I already kind of like whenever I put something on, I'm like I just want to laugh or like have a good time. It's like similarly to like I love the Rush Hour franchise, even though I feel like that's
Ah.
a little controversial, given the given the state of how we live now.
Yeah.
But I love those movies, so I feel like if I put out a movie, I'm like watching it because it's like a comforting thing. Like I'm like I know these movies like in and out,
It's
and
fair.
like and they're like hilarious to me still. And normally, anytime that I move somewhere or like something big changes in my life, I always throw those movies on because
Mm.
they're like they ground me. They give me that like motivation to like be
You
like, oh
have
shit,
you have perfectly defined what favorite means.
that
And
is for
I
sure.
feel like I feel like an idiot for not thinking about it that way, but like that makes so much sense. I have no counter argument to your choice because of how you articulated why.
I try. I feel like all of my favorite movies are ones that like I don't have to put any effort in to know that I have to
Mm,
watch. Like I could be not even looking at the screen and still know exactly what's going on. That's how much I
yeah.
love that movie. So,
So a movie like that for me would be a 4-Year-Old Virgin. I can quote that movie front to
oh,
back,
okay,
and
yeah,
that's like literally one of my favorite comedies ever,
yeah, that's a
hands
great
down.
movie. That's a great movie.
So
Yeah. So there you go. I've helped you to find your favorite, Rob. So there you go. You're welcome. Now you can stop talking about the Benjamin Button shit. Jesus Christ. I don't know how you came to that first deliberation of
I don't even
Benjamin
know
Button.
what that movie is.
Yeah.
I'm just
Oh
joking.
God, don't watch it. It's not worth it. I'll give a funny story. So my family and I went on vacation, and my parents were like, "Oh, we should go see this movie. It's got Brad Pitt in it and like Kate Blanchett." And I was like, "Oh, okay, they're both very accomplished actors." I think I was like probably like I don't know, 15 or 16, and I was like, I wonder how long the movie is. The movie is fucking so long. I just want to
It
say it's
is.
incredibly long for like a movie that I feel like shouldn't be this long. And I'm not gonna lie, I watched the movie. I'm pretty sure I fell asleep halfway through, and then I woke up and he was like a baby, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And like Clay Jet is like a fucking old lady,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I can't. This is might be the worst movie I've seen of all time. Like this, like it didn't make any sense to me. Like who, like what type? I just need to know what type of fever dream this person was on. That was just like, you know what? I need to make a movie where someone ages backwards. Like just imagine like giving birth to like an old ass like
Yeah.
dude. Like full. There's no way that would happen. So, like, it's so
That's why
weird.
it's interesting.
There's like, does he just show up? Like, what happens? Like, you know, did he just show up as an old man? He just like all of the atoms of life started to like form together, and then like Brad Pitt, old man, shows up, and he's just like, "Hey, what's going on? You know, I'm here, and now I'm gonna turn into a baby and die, and that's how it's gonna happen." You know, like
That's it.
fuck it, just
Give him the
this-
academy.
It's no, please don't.
It's kind of like there was a movie that came out a couple of years ago. I forget what it was called, but it's like the reverse of that. These people go to a beach and they just get drunk.
Oh, old.
Oh, yeah.
old, yeah.
It's pretty much the reverse
It's
of that
pretty
movie.
That movie sucked.
What?
Yeah.
I
Okay,
did not like that
okay,
movie.
you can't. Okay, Rob, I don't know if I could trust you
We need
because
to-
you said that movie sucks and it's the same movie but in reverse, bro. Oh my god,
Listen.
the logic.
We're gonna have a phone call one of these days. We're gonna talk movies, all right? I'm gonna teach you some
This
things.
logic is fucked, dude. I can't. This logic is fucked. He's like Benjamin Button. Good movie. Is an old bad movie. Why is it bad? I can't tell you why it's bad. And it's just like it's the same premise. I can't. Oh my god. Well, let us know. Give us your best. If you have seen both of these movies, give us your best argument down in the comments. I need to know why people like these movies. So if you like these movies, let me know. I'm sure Rob
Okay.
is going to leave me a fucking like lengthy like he's
All
gonna
these
leave me,
links in
he's gonna
widescreen.
leave me like a fucking like a dissertation paper in my comment section. So I'm excited to.
So first of all,
So first of all, thank you for having us on this show. Now I'm gonna. It'd be great.
so about Benjamin.
Yes.
Get this Benjamin slander out of here.
Listen, all I'm saying is I'm expecting you to cite your sources at the end, you know, so I'll give you a grade at the bottom, like I'll comment, I'll be like C+. Anyway, next question, guys. Speaking about being on an island, if you were trapped on an island for the next month and there was one album you could bring with you to listen to, what album would it be?
Oh, man.
One album for a whole month. I think I'm gonna go with Doppelganger.
Interesting.
Ooh, that's a great pick.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna go Downtown Bottom Mountain too.
Ooh, wow, okay. I respect that choice. I'm more of a happiness guy, but I got you. Yeah. Listen, I'm a
don't
Coach
even get me-
Travis stan. So
Don't get me started on people liking their favorite DGD record not having John Mess on it. I can't do it.
wait,
Like,
what?
Not that it's. Listen,
Oh
no
boy.
slander on Happiness being a bad album, but like as your favorite without John Mess is like a sin. I feel like.
No, it's not. It's okay. It's not. I mean, listen, I love John Metz. Don't get me wrong, like, but I still think that's my favorite DGD record. It's one of the only DGD records I own in my collection, so I feel like
Oh really?
that's a sentiment. Yeah, I haven't bought
Yeah.
any of the current stuff, and that's no diss to DGD at all. But
Just that one's your favorite.
that one's my favorite. You know, gotta keep the favorites on lock. But the last question, guys, the penultimate question. Thank you for spending the time. If you like Fauxtrot and you liked what you heard so far, and you haven't left yet, you should go give them some subscribes and follows and all that shit. All the links are in the description. But wanted to know, guys, why you guys are so passionate about making music. As someone who is passionate about showing bands off and showing what they can do, I'm always curious in terms of, you know, why people choose to do this and why they love to do it.
That's a good question. I think because I was always fascinated by music and I connected to it in a way that I really couldn't explain. And I think part of doing music was me trying to explain to other people why I'm here and why I like to do this.
Mhm.
I really believe in things that seem impossible and achieving them. Because like I'm not naturally gifted in a lot of things and music's not one of them. So like I had to work really hard to get to this point. And just being here at all and people hearing music that we've done is so cathartic and interesting. And it's one of the very life-giving things in my life that keeps me like wow, I did that, or like, wow, I'm really proud of this thing that I'm doing, that I've done.
Mm,
And it's very, like I said, it's very cathartic because the writing and just the experience of creating too. Like I love collaborating with my guys and like doing that whole thing. It's so cool to make something that has never been done before, but that's personal to you, and like
mhm.
trying to make it all work. I just think that it's something that you really can't do in a lot of aspects of life, and I'm very fortunate enough to be here to do that with people that are like my best friends. So um yeah, it's very, very fills my soul, if you will.
Austin.
Yeah, for me, um, when I started playing guitar, I think it was also when I started to kind of get into music. And I guess the idea of like actually, going up on stage and playing in front of people seemed like a pretty cool idea, to go out through life. Obviously, you can't make a living off of it,
Oh,
unfortunately. But but it was, I don't know, ever since I started getting into guitar and music, a lot of the times, when I would listen to music, this, I don't know if this will be weird, but a lot of times I would just kind of visualize myself playing this,
sure.
stuff
Yeah.
in front of people. So it's always been, I guess, a dream, since I was like a teenager, and I kind of wanted to follow that out just because it's just been something that I like, and it's probably the only thing I really like in life and like general, enough to do this sort of stuff. Especially when it comes to jobs and stuff, because I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm only working, trying to make a living. This isn't really what I wanted to.
Sure. Yeah.
So, I'd rather just try to make sure, while I'm still alive, even though I kind of have to work to make a living, I would like to do something off the side that'll keep me happy for the time that I'm here.
Yeah, and I think what I've noticed a lot is like I think it fills a cup that I don't think your like normal day job can fill, right? And I also work a day job, so I like understand the necessity to like want to do something else that gives you that sort of like fulfillment in life. And I feel like music is always that great avenue that people tend to go down because it's, something that I think is a shared experience. And I would say even more so for like people who are in the alternative scene. I feel like that is kind of like the biggest selling point that I could recommend to anybody that maybe has not been in the scene or has not heard of this type of music is like I think there's such a camaraderie amongst people that like will want to see you do well or want to see you do stuff because like they are also fulfilling or living that same sort of dream as well. And so I think it's this really cool bonding experience that we all want to see each other do well because like who wouldn't want to just be like making music and doing stuff like all the fun shit they're doing, for their life. I think that would be amazing. And like should be such a cool shared experience if we're all able to kind of get to that point where like it's like, oh, I don't have to do my day job, I can do this full time if I like want to do that. And so I love that. And I love the Foxtrot guys now. I already did before, but now I do that much more so. So if you
Oh
have
yeah.
not checked out Lost in Translation, I'll leave links down in the description. Go give them a follow, go give them a like, go do all that shit. And the guys can tell you what they have coming up in 2024 because this is the first video of the year for me. So you guys are coming out on January 1st of the
Oh
year.
yeah.
Oh
So
shit! Okay.
beginning of the year, baby. Number one.
Sweet. Yeah, so we are Foxtrot. We are doing we just, I guess at this point when this comes out, we'll have done our EP release show for our EP Lost in Translation that came out on the 1st of December. So 1 year anniversary to that.
A
And
year?
then
What the
next,
fuck?
or 1 month.
I was
Sorry.
like,
Yeah, I was like,
Not 1 year.
I
Sorry,
was like,
I'm
holy
living the
shit!
Benjamin
Wow, I'm
Button
feeling
life.
old now.
I'm going back. Yeah, so next year I guess prepare for we'll definitely still be playing some shows. And we're gonna be working on some some new stuff.
New
Some new
stuff.
stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, some new
Let's
stuff.
go.
Yeah. If you come out to a show, if you've seen us live, we might be playing some new stuff in our set that's not released. Just saying, but yeah. So that's kind of what's going on.
That's always been the thing with us.
Yeah.
We'll end up just throwing songs that are just not released yet.
Yeah.
And
I
the
respect
set list just to fill it up. So sometimes we end up playing a song like, oh man, I really like that song. We just can't tell you when it'll be out.
Fun fact for all the bands that they're listening, or anyone who wants to know this, at least what's worked for us. If you play a song in your live set long enough, by the time you record it, you're gonna be pretty good at it.
You get all the bugs out. Yeah,
We did that unintentionally, but yes.
I'm about it.
That's pretty much this year. I guess January 1st on 2024. It's so weird to talk about the future when we're in
Hey,
the past.
listen,
Shout out Benjamin Buttons.
No, it's just son of a bitch. All right, well, listen, go check out Fauxtrot. You might have some controversial stances on Benjamin Button, the movie, but I know you will not have a controversial stance on their new EP, Lost in Translation. You can check the links below. Go show it some love. If you'd also like to watch my live reaction to the video, I will also leave that in the description. Go watch it. I don't know if the guys watched it before or not, because they had some other stuff they were doing yesterday, but I'm hoping they're gonna get around to watching it because it was great. So go do it. If you do live in the greater like Philly, PA area, I'm sure they'll be playing some shows. So go out and see them. Very excited to see what Fauxtrot has for this upcoming year in 2024. So go keep your eyes peeled if you haven't already. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It goes a long way. I don't know if I have hit 4,000, but if you want to keep pushing me to that road to 4K, that'd be really sick. I'm hoping to hit, like, I don't know, probably 5 or more K this year. We'll find out. We'll see what happens, but help me get there. That'd be amazing. And huge thanks to Fauxtrot for coming on today and chatting with me.
Thanks for having us, Brandon. Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, bro.